Hey gang, Professor Feeser here, and in today's video, we're going to look at a very narrow task, which is how to sync a private repository from GitHub into the platform itself. This shouldn't take that long. Let's get started. Okay, gang, we want to start in GitHub. So navigate to the private repository you'd like to sync to GitHub. And you know it's private because it'll say private, it'll have a lock on it. Go ahead and click on settings and be careful, not the settings in the ribbon across the top. You want to click on your user profile and then come down to user profile settings. Along the left, go all the way down to developer settings. Click on personal access tokens, and then you want to go into either one's going to be fine. I'm going to use a classic token. Classic tokens are just general purpose testing. Fine-grained tokens would be best practice. They take just a little bit longer to set up. You can scope them specifically to a repository where a classic token is general purpose across all of your repositories. Go ahead and click Generate New Token, make a final decision. Again, I'm going to use a classic token. AAP test token for private repo, AWX private. Expiration 7 days. You have to check the repo box, and then all the way down to the bottom, generate token. It'll only show you the token once. You can regenerate it ultimately. Copy it to your clipboard, and we are done in GitHub. We can hop over to AAP. In AAP, you want to expand the automation execution automation controller tab, and then open infrastructure and click on credentials. Create credential and give it a very clear name. Mine's going to be github.com RZFeeser PAT classic, personal access token classic. Description for RZFeeser account, a namespace. Organization, that's a scope for tenancy purposes. I'm just going to use default. Credential type, this is bizarre. When you click on this, the first thing you'll run into is GitHub personal access token. That would be wrong. Do not choose that. Click load more, which is bizarre. Keep scrolling down. Click load more. You're looking for source control. Source control. Just trust me on this. Username is still going to be the GitHub username, but the password has to be the token that you generated from GitHub. Go ahead and save that credential, and now we are ready to create a project. So next you can hop into projects, still under automation execution, automation controller projects. Create a project and give this some sort of name, RZFeeser /AWX. Private is what I'm going to call it. The organization, scope it to the same org as the cred. Source control type, Git. The URL must begin with HTTP or HTTPS. I suppose you could play around with using like SSH, Git, and SSH. But I'll just say this, if you forget a protocol on the front, it won't work. GitHub.com RZFeeser AWX private is what we called it. We don't have to say a branch. It'll just look for the default branch, whatever you've named it. Source control credential. So right there's the PAT classic. If we had chosen source control type PAT, we wouldn't have been able to find it. So there's the PAT classic. Options, this is specifically how do you want to sync? What are the rules about syncing? I usually check update, revision, and launch, which means before a solution from this project would potentially run, a playbook, a rule book, go and resync the project. Check it or don't. I think it makes sense for most of my applications. Create project, and it should automatically start syncing, and if we see a success, we will know we did well. Yeah, success. Excellent. Very good. Now, if that had said fail, you can hop into notifications or click on success. It will show you potential error messages, maybe help you figure out what might be going wrong with your particular project sync. Wow, gang, that was fantastic. And there were a couple tricky spots I'm glad we talked about. Remember, you want to create a source control credential type in AAP. Also, probably take the time to make a fine-grained token out in GitHub. Finally, don't forget a protocol when you're typing in the URI URL for the project itself in RedHat's Ansible Automation Platform. Gang, thanks so much for watching. Hit subscribe. I don't want to miss you in the next episode of Code with Feeser.